being pansexual, a lot of people don't understand what that means. Um, so, like, many times I've just, to save having to explain anything, I'm just like, I'm bisexual, just because
Yeah,
it's,
and I feel like it's such a weird thing too, because there's so many different things that you can be, and you can be multiple things. But I'm always like, I'm pretty sure I'm pansexual too. But I'm always a little bit like on the fence about what the difference is.
yeah. So there's a difference. So a lot of people think that bisexuals, and I actually used to think this too, even though I'm a member of, like, I kind of thought this too, that bisexuals would not date transsexuals, uh,
Okay.
like transgender people.
Hmm.
Um, and that's actually not true. A bisexual is someone who will date two or more genders. Doesn't matter what genders those are. It doesn't matter if it's a transgender person or
Oh, but it's
cis,
just two
cis
specifically.
female, cis male. It doesn't matter. Just two or more genders.
Okay.
Typically, just two, but it could be two or more. Or maybe it's just two.
Because I
Where
would feel like it would be just two
pansexual,
because it's bi.
yeah, no, no, no. It's two or more. So a pansexual is someone who will date all genders.
Okay.
So that just means that, so like a bisexual could be like, I date cis females, I date cis males, and I date uh,
Oh, so it's just
trans
putting like a cap. Okay.
trans women. So they could be dating the three different types. But a pansexual is like, I don't care what gender you are. You can fit into any gender category or no gender at all. I'm fine with that. It does not matter to me. Like, I am happy with anyone as long as it's someone that I love. That
Yeah.
which is what I am. But I kind of wanted to just explain that because a lot of people don't know that. Like I said, when I first realized that I wasn't a straight person, like, I didn't fully understand that either. I knew I was pansexual because I was open to dating anything. Anything, like
Anything.
anyone, not anything. I don't date animals. I don't date cars. Like,
Oh my God, those
one,
car
any human
people.
being that is of age. Um, but a bisexual is two or more genders.
Okay.
So, like, it's kind of like, um, all Asians are humans, but not all humans are Asians. That's kind of how,
Yeah.
like, all pansexuals are bisexual, but not all bisexuals are pansexual because a bisexual
Okay.
may be like, I don't want to date a trans man. Like,
Okay.
I would not date a trans man. No matter how much I like the person, I would never date a trans man. Or I would never date a cis man, because I'm just not interested in them. Like, I only date trans women and trans men, or, but two or more. Where a
Okay.
pansexual will date any gender in the book you can come up with, they will date them. They do not care. It does not matter. We do not give a crap about what you got in your pants as long as it's clean. That's all that matters. So I just wanted to explain that.
It's a good topic because we're going into Pride Month. So
Yeah,
like everybody's
yeah,
gearing
yeah.
up
I
for
thought it was
Pride.
a good topic.
Um, and like it was really downplayed last year. And so like I'm excited that like everybody's like coming back and like it's gonna be like a big event like it normally is. Um, yeah, I identify as pansexual too. Like I don't really care. I need that like I just need like a connection.
Yeah,
And I typically will date cis men. Haven't met too many bi guys, which is unfortunate because I really would like I feel like guys aren't as open with it if they're bi. They're just like, oh no, I'm straight. And you're like, okay. But yeah, so typically, but then I'm open to anything that comes along. I just like typically what comes along is a cis male.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, some people tend to have like their preference
Yeah.
of gender.
Well,
Doesn't necessarily mean you have to be that gender, but they'll have a preference, like some people do.
I saw a fun post recently about being bi, and somebody was like, I'm still bi when I'm dating a woman. I'm still bi when I'm dating a man. I'm still bi when I'm
Right.
single. I'm still because you are. It's like, listen, even if I choose to like be married in a heterosexual relationship, like I'm still bi or I'm still pan or I'm still whatever. then the other term that I found, and it's one of those weird like offshoots where I'm like, I don't know exactly how it fits in. But I think it's sapiosexual. It's
Like
I think it's the
mental.
intelligence. Yeah. Like I need somebody who can like mentally
Yeah, and
stimulate me
I
and
feel
like
like
talk to
I'm
me.
more so that
Yeah,
than
that's
Pam.
the same here.
Like I'm Pam because I will accept all genders, but in that I'm also sapio because if you cannot intrigue my mind, I'm not going to be interested in you. Just period. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, like I need somebody that I can just talk to about anything. And it kind of sucks, like, on the dating apps, they have like these things where it's like, will you talk about politics? And I'm like, I want to talk about politics. And like a bunch of people are like, no, I won't talk about it. And I'm like, don't limit it and be like, I won't talk about
Yeah.
this. Oh, I don't like this. I won't do this. And so it's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, no, like I want somebody who like challenges me and we don't have the same ideas and we can talk about things and like have interesting conversations. I don't want somebody who always agrees with me because I'm crazy. I don't like some of my thoughts are not rational.
Yeah, that's how I am. And like I've even had some of my friends will get mad because I'm more of a liberal person. Like obviously, being a member of LGBTQ plus, I'm gonna be a little bit more liberal. I'm not gonna
I
be
mean,
a
not necessarily.
not
I mean,
necessarily, but
I was gonna say you've seen Caitlyn Jenner going real hard
yeah, that's true.
towards the right now.
Yeah, and I actually know quite a few lesbians who are pretty Republican. I don't know how you could. It doesn't
I
register in
think
my
it's
brain.
I think it's cherry picking the ideas because like I've seen it with a lot of like Republicans in general where they're like, I don't like the current Republican Party, but I am a Republican because I do agree with these specific ideals, which are
Yeah,
the focus of the party. And so like that I get. So like I do get because that's my immediate thought every time I see a woman who's like a Republican. I'm like, you know that they don't care about your body, your rights, any of that stuff. And it's like it's cherry picking, I think.
yeah, and I can
So
kinda understand with lesbians, like how abortion doesn't really matter to you because
yeah.
you don't date men. You don't have that fear, of that. I mean, of course, you still have the worry of getting raped, obviously, but I don't know. I don't
There
know.
was there was a super upsetting bill that just passed in Texas regarding abortion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I sent you that article where after 6 weeks, the baby has a heartbeat, and you cannot you can get an abortion, but you can be sued for it. So
yeah,
like the person who got it cannot be sued, but if somebody drove them to that appointment, if somebody paid for it, if the doctor that performed it, the nurse who took their vitals, any of those people can be sued. And it's not just by people in Texas. In Illinois, if I like found out somebody was having an abortion and I wanted to sue, that's a thing I can do.
that's so crazy.
And at 6 weeks, I was like,
Give me the
it
register of everyone that's had abortions. I'm gonna sue everyone connected to that and
yeah, because that's what they
get
said.
my life set.
They were like we're not leaving it up to the government to find and charge these people, we're leaving it up to the individuals. And I'm like, that's insane. And I think it was like up to you can sue for like up to $10,000. And I was like, it's not your body, what do you
Right.
care? Like I saw there's this one post that goes around every so often, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a guy who got a girl pregnant. She said she didn't want to keep it. He begged her to keep it. She said, okay, I'll keep it, but I want nothing to do with this baby. I'm going to sign over my parental rights. I'm going to do all this stuff. The baby's yours. So his post was essentially, I've been a single father for, 3 years. I never get to go out. I never get to do anything. And he's like, I want her to be in this baby's life and she doesn't want to. And then he's like, she pays more than she's legally required to for child support, but I want her to like be in this child's life and I'm going to sue her
I
so
need a
she
break.
has to do it. Huh?
He's like, I need a break.
Well, that's exactly what he said. He was like, I need a break. I don't want to be a single parent. Um, and like he's like, do I have the ground to stand on? And the whole internet was like, no, you piece of shit. I'm like, she literally had a baby that she didn't want because you wanted it, and she's paying you child support for a baby that she
She
never
didn't even
wanted.
really, yeah. technically, I don't even think she should be paying child support at that point.
I don't think
She
so
was like,
either.
I
I
want
think
to get
it's,
rid of it, and I didn't because you wanted it, and I respected your choice.
that
I gave
is,
up
that
my
is
own
one thing.
choice to respect
Yeah.
your choice. I gave up my
That,
rights.
that's one thing that I do dislike about our system is I feel like if you give up your parental rights before the baby's born, like I feel like if you like in that situation where you're like, I don't want this baby,
Yeah, if you make a
sorry.
choice at a time when you could get it aborted,
Yeah. I
I
feel like,
think
yeah,
you shouldn't be held.
yeah, because that's what sucks is like people can come back for like if you had a baby that you didn't know about, somebody could come after you 10 years after the fact and be like, this is your kid, you owe me 10 years in child support. And the courts will literally approve that and make you pay for this kid that somebody kept a secret from you.
Yeah,
And so that's something that I don't like about the current legal system where I feel like if you give up your parental rights like early on and you're like, I really do not want this baby because it costs a lot. Like child support is very expensive. Um, so it does suck for those people that were like, I didn't want this child and the other person wanted it. And like in her case, she had the baby for him. Most times the woman is like, I want to have this baby and I'm going to do. And it's like, well, you shouldn't have this baby on the contingency that I'm giving you money. I don't think that that's right.
right.
Because I feel like so yeah, so that was a weird it was a weird bill that passed
You get
in.
child support you're getting, get a babysitter.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I know to tell you, bro. Welcome to motherhood.
Yeah, and that's what people were saying. They were like, there are
Talk about
hundreds
being
of
a single
thousands.
mom.
Yeah, there were like hundreds of thousands of single moms who aren't even getting child support and are doing this by themselves.
Yeah.
And they're like, and she's paying you more than she's legally required to. Like,
Like,
you're a
here's
piece of
extra
shit.
money. Stop bothering me. That's
Yeah, and he's
totally
like,
different.
he's like, well, the kid needs a mother, and she's like, well, that's really not my
Go
problem.
find
Like,
her one. Go find it one. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, that was exactly it. Because she's, I think in the article it said that she's like a bodybuilder, like model type person. So he's like, she immediately went and like got her body back, and she's posting all these pictures, and I want her to be a be a mother to my kid. And he's like, no,
Probably thought that her motherly instincts would
yeah,
kick
that they would kick
in.
in.
Not
Yeah,
everybody has that. Like, not everybody
no,
wants that. Like, you need to respect each other's wishes.
yeah.
If you don't want to be a dad, you shouldn't have told her to have the baby.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I get it that you're tired, but like that's what being a parent is. Like that's something that nobody hides that.
Yeah.
Because I know like something about with marriage, nobody tells you how hard marriage is until you get into it. And like everybody's like, oh, it's sunshine and rainbows, get married, it'll be so much fun. And then you get married and they're like, welcome to hell, you're gonna hate it. And they punch you in the face. Parenthood, literally everybody tells you, they're like, it is so hard, it is so exhausting, I haven't taken a shower in 2 weeks, even when I do the kid is in there. Like nobody hides how hard parenting is.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like,
posted a picture this week of me trying to use the toilet and Sagan was like, I want to come there with you. And he's almost 5. Like, bro, come on now. Like, give me some damn privacy. No, he
you're
comes
like, I
here
just
and
want to
sits on the
be.
step stool between my legs, right in front of me. He's throwing his iPad, just doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm like, let me use the bathroom and pee. You're literally between my legs. Like, give me, not like up close, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like sitting on the step stool in front of the toilet between
yeah,
your knees. Like, come
you're
on.
like, you couldn't wait just a
Yeah,
few minutes. Like,
right.
I get it.
Like,
Like
I wasn't even
personally,
going number 2. I was just peeing. Like, that's how
personally,
quickly it
I'm
can
on
be.
Sagan's side where like every time you went to the bathroom, I was like, she's been gone too long and I miss her. So like I would also be there, but it's a little bit weirder for an
Parenting
adult woman who didn't come out of you.
Parenting's exhausting, and it's even when you get a break and you aren't having to do all the things for the kids, it's still exhausting because your mind is like never shut off,
Yeah.
because you're still, I hope that whoever's taking care of them is doing this, is doing that, assuming you're a good parent. You're still thinking about all of those things, worrying about it. Like every work trip I've ever been on, like by the first night, like literally the first night, once it's time to go to bed, I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, I miss my kids.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're
Like,
always thinking
I
about them.
embrace and am so happy I'm getting the break, but I do miss my kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
it's
one of those
exhausting.
things. That's why that's like that specifically right there is why I'm in a position where like I don't particularly want kids because I just like the not being able to take a break, the thinking about them constantly, it just it's a lot. And I'm at a point now where I'm kind of like, if somebody I was dating wanted to have a child, I would consider it. But like just me by myself, like I'm just like, I don't have motherly instincts. And like this is TMI, but like a few weeks ago, I sent Lindsey a text message because I had like a weird moment where I was like, something weird came out of my body and I don't know what's happening. And um and we both were sitting there and we're like, are you pregnant? And I know we both knew that I'm not. Like there's no way. I
Yeah,
have an
but it's like we got to
IUD.
be sure though.
I have an IUD. I haven't had sex in months. Like there's no possible way that and I get my period every month. Like, and it's not like that, like, oh, it's just dainty. It's like, no, I'm here. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this looks like a mucus plug. And when your mucus plug comes out, that's when you have baby. Or like that's when they
Sure.
put you on bed rest because if you keep moving around, you're gonna have a baby. So like we're both going back and forth and we're just like, no, it's not possible. But I ended up going out at like 10 p.m. and getting a pregnancy
Just
test
so we could rest easy.
just so we could rest easy. And it was so ridiculous. But like the whole time, Lindsay's like, I'll support you, whatever. And I'm like, if I'm having a baby, I'm like at least 7 months into this. And I don't have any kind of like emotional bond to it. So I'm like, I wouldn't have a baby. Thankfully not pregnant. So but it was just one of those like weird moments where I was like, and then after the fact, we're both like, God, we really are so stupid. Like you haven't had sex, you have the IUD, you've been getting your periods.
And sex. Like it's
Um,
not humanly
yeah,
possible. But it was still
yeah,
just in case. Go
yeah.
ahead.
It's just like, and then I'm sitting there and I'm just like, God, it was such a weird thing at CVS too, because the CVS guy was kind of cute. So I was like, pregnancy tests and like, because the self
Trying to
checkout wasn't
flirt, but
working.
like, oh, I am buying a pregnancy test. It's gonna be negative, okay? It's gonna be negative. Here's my number.
So like, yeah, I tried to
I
go to
will
the
take
self
it right now,
checkout.
just so you know.
I was trying to go to self checkout, and like that was like some woman was like messing with it, like one of the employees. So I had to go to the register, and he's like, "Do you want a bag?" And I was like, "No, nobody cares at this point. Hand it over." So just give me my pregnancy test and let me go. But they're expensive. It was like almost $12 for one test to prove that
Get
I was not
you can
pregnant.
get them at the Dollar Tree here. I
I
don't know if
mean,
it's just 'cause
yeah.
in the South everybody gets pregnant all the time. I don't know,
Well,
but
no, the Dollar Tree tests are proven to be the most effective tests. Like all of those ones are like, we detect it sooner. Dollar Tree tests are the most
all
because
the
they're the most basic.
yeah.
Yeah, like they're the most basic. And I was like, but Dollar Tree was further than CVS,
That's what
and
I
I was
used to
already
always go to the
pissed.
Dollar Tree and I buy like 4 or 5 at a time because you know like I had PCOS and I had endometriosis, so like I never had a normal period. So I would just always be paranoid that I'm pregnant again, even though I have an IUD or be on birth control or be doing whatever. It was like my periods are never regular, so I'm never quite sure. So I would just take them randomly all the time. Anytime that I would stop bleeding, I would be like, "Why am I not bleeding? Oh my god!" Because I bled all the time. So I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm not bleeding. I hope I'm not pregnant. Oh my lord!" Take another test. It was
I
negative.
I think I've only taken one other time, and again, it was one of those times where I'm like, you're definitely not pregnant, but like just in case, let's just take
Just to
this.
be safe.
But yeah, like it was one of those things where I was like sitting there, and I'm like, in my current life, I couldn't support a kid. Like there is no possible way. And then I'm like driving, and I was like, if I am pregnant, I'm going to be one of those. I know I was pregnant girls having a toilet baby. And I just remember driving and I was
That would be a
pissed
great
because it was like,
episode for us, though. Imagine how great
what?
the
Yeah.
episode would be. You get to
Live
talk about
stream.
having a baby when you didn't expect it.
I would be that person though, 100%, because the way that I deal with illness is just to pretend it doesn't exist. So I 100% would be one of those people who didn't know they were pregnant. And I've always thought that my entire life. I was always like, I would be that person because I'm always nauseous from my acid reflux. Like I'm always nauseous. So I don't like morning sickness, doesn't matter. Um, and my body doesn't throw up, so I fully believe that if I did get pregnant I wouldn't throw up. And then it is possible because I'm bigger, like that you wouldn't see it. um and like, yeah, I just naturally, everything on me always hurts anyway, so what's like the swelling and the all of that. So
Oh man, with Sagan, when my belly started kind of really stretching out, and getting bigger with him, I had literal snaps of my ligaments. Like I heard them, like felt them.
that's
It was crazy.
horrible.
Occasionally it comes up in my time hop thing or my memories, like when my stomach bands were just like popping.
See,
I'm like,
and
is
me,
this normal? This did not happen with my first pregnancy. And they're like, well, they're all
I
stretched out, and it's like they're just like, we're just going this time.
I have a predisposition for twins too, so that's even more terrifying because I'm like just having to carry twins and then having to like have twins. It's just like it's a lot. But yeah,
Double
that's what
pressure, double your fun.
I know. Like I just like I look at all of those people that are pregnant with twins and I'm just like, mm-mm, can't do it. This body is not made for that.
No.
But my if I ever did get like pregnant and have a kid and like want to have a kid, I would like insist on getting in better shape because like you had the gestational diabetes. Like I'm pre-diabetic, so like I'm very close to being type 2. So
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I would need to like be in shape first and like then we can ruin my body with a pregnancy and then I can know that I can get back to that because currently I'm just sitting there and I'm like, will I ever be a normal weight again? Will I ever not be morbidly obese? Can I just be regular obese? Just,
Regular obese. God.
just want to be regular obese. And I don't like the BMI model. I don't think it's a good measurement because it's literally just your height and your weight, and it doesn't account for your muscle mass, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't account for anything else. It just goes, well, you weigh this much, and it's like,
What
well,
if
yeah,
that
but
was
I've
all
seen,
muscle?
yeah,
Because
like
muscle
I've
more.
seen people that are like, they weigh where they're technically obese, but like they don't look it because like they're fit, but they're still in that category. And but I mean, it's the same thing with like diabetes and stuff. Like you don't I've seen people that are like stick thin get type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
Like nothing cares.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, it's partially, your genetics. If you're, and I have tons of diabetics in my family. Um, and then also how you eat. Like, I'm a carb person. And like I said, when I was started throwing up for eating red meat, I started eating more carbs because I was eating less meat. Um, so I'd eat more potatoes and more breads and pastas because I was trying to not eat meat.
Yeah.
I eat one of the two. I'm either going to eat meat or I'm going to eat carbs. There's no in between here.
Well, and it sucks too because like meat is so high in calories, and so like when you aren't eating meat, it's so hard to get your calories in because you're like, oh, good. Let me eat 4 cups of rice real quick. This is what I want to eat right now. Like, instead of eating like
Like I feel
one
more
chicken breast.
full whenever I'm eating meat. Like I can eat a much smaller amount and feel full than when I'm eating carbs. Like if I eat carbs, tend to digest quicker, I believe, if I remember correctly. So that could be
Mhm.
part of it. Like I'll eat a big bowl of pasta, but then an hour later I'm hungry again. Where if I eat meat, I may go 6 or 7 hours and not be hungry again.
Well, I
So
think that's something with the sugar in it too.
yeah.
Like there's no sugar in meat, but like in pasta, there's a lot of sugar and stuff. So
Yeah.
like that was something I
Yeah, and
saw
that's
too.
why the shot that they put me on is supposed to slow down the digestion and reduce the sugar that's released into my bloodstream, and kind of just let the sugars go through me and not get in my body. I think is my understanding. And it's actually a shot that is used for weight loss. They're like testing it right now to release it as just a weight loss thing. Uh,
Really?
because it supposedly helps people lose weight so much easier.
I know
Um,
I've seen like you were telling me that. And my immediate thought is that like that's super unhealthy. I'm hoping that tapers out for you because otherwise I will be like very anxious about your weight loss.
yeah.
Um, but like that's something I would be interested in because I am like, I eat healthy, I do work out, and it's just the results are hard.
Yeah. Well, and I used to take metformin, but I've got ADHD. I forget to take medications. And that was a pill I was supposed to take every morning and every evening, and I would forget to take it. And then on top of that, it made me feel like crap all the time. Like it didn't help my blood sugar. I felt like crap. Um, and so when I did low carb before, I just stopped taking it because I was like, I'm not taking this. Like I don't like how I feel. I did get my blood sugars down, and this shot supposedly is you take it while you're having blood sugar issues, but then once you don't have blood sugar issues and you
You
get it,
don't need it.
then you can start weaning off of it, and trying to. It's kind of like I guess if you have sugar issues long term, you're still going to keep using it, but once you get into remission, you no longer will need that.
See, you're making me feel like I should go to the doctor again. Like I was supposed to, there's like a big red like exclamation point because I went to the doctor February of last year and then he's like, "Oh, I'll see you in 6 months." And I was like,
No, you.
no, like I don't go to the doctor. Like it
I
just,
do all the time.
and I keep like I should. I'm a functional adult now who has good health insurance, who like can afford co-pays. Like I should be going to the doctor, and there's actually no reason that I can't other than I'm just like really afraid of what he'll tell me. And like originally, when I'm mostly just afraid that like he'll tell me that I am diabetic now because I was like right on that cusp. And I did, start working out and I did start eating better, but like I'm not super consistent with it. So like I'm still kind of worried that like he'll tell me that I have to like go on pills or like get injections. And I'm
Yeah.
not ready for that because I don't feel bad.
If you have the choice, do the injection. Like,
That's, but
like I'm
if is
trying to get
it
to like,
is it every day though?
no, it's
Well, you
just once
said
a week.
yours is once a week, but like how do I know that that's what they would give me?
That's what everybody that's on it is. It's a once a week thing. It's like it gets into your bloodstream and just helps regulate it, and it lasts a week.
Hmm.
So they just adjust the dosage that you take each week,
Okay.
depending on what you need. Um, but the next thing I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to go join the gym.
Yay.
I joined a gym like 20 years ago and went like 2 times and never went more than that. But since I've started this injection, like I don't like just sitting around. Like I feel like I'm bored when I sit around. And normally I'm like the lazy couch potato. Like I'm completely content, never moving, and just only movements is the fork to the mouth, and that's it. Like I'm usually content with that. But it's like I'm just bored sitting around. So I'm gonna
Like a
join.
whole new person.
I am. So I'm going to go join the gym and go embarrass myself there because I won't know how to use anything
That's the
whatsoever.
worst. You know what you have to do? You have to go on the treadmill and just as you're on the treadmill, just watch everybody using the machine so you can learn what you're doing before you go to the mats.
Well, the one I've decided to use, and I actually decided to use it before asking him, but like I've seen him post in the gym and stuff. So I was like, which gym is the best one around here? And I want to be able to take a guest with me because I'm bad about not wanting to go anywhere unless someone goes with me. And one
Yeah.
of my best friends has started going to the gym to try to lose some weight. So I was like, she and I can go, but she joined the gym that's at the hospital because she's a hospital worker and it's like $10 a month. Um, and I was like, I don't want to pay 30 something dollars for that gym whenever this gym for the same price, actually a little bit less, has way more to offer me. So, I was like, I want to join this other one, and it's closer to my house. But if I could take a guest with me, then she could go with me whenever I go to that one. When I'm not with her, she can just go to the one at the hospital when she gets off work, that type of thing. Um, so I asked him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the best one. I've joined all of them, and as far as your money, and all that goes, 10 Fitness is the one I would suggest." He's like, "I actually just pulled up right now." Oh, yeah. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a gym person.
I'm
Like
not a
I
person. Like I'm. I dread. I may see if he'll go with me the first time just to show me how to use everything. And they had like staff there, so I'm sure they would show me. But I'm
No,
one of those
you're
people.
not going to
I don't
ask.
know you. I don't want you to
Yeah,
think I'm a retard. I don't want to use that word. I don't want you to think I'm a complete idiot. So like, uh, yeah, like
yeah.
I
I did
went
that
to my
too. And
though.
they're like, oh, you get a free personal trainer thing. And I'm like,
Mm,
please don't.
yeah,
But my issue with it is I don't like the physical act of going to the gym. I like being in the gym. When I'm in the gym, I'm doing great. But like when I'm on my couch, when I get home from work, sitting there and being like, oh, good, let me change into my gym clothes, then let me drive 10 minutes to the gym, then let me walk into the gym, then let me put my stuff down and get
this one's like
situated and do
five
all that
minutes
stuff.
from my house.
Well, even still, like, well, that's what my old gym was 5 minutes from my house. But it was just that act of like, this gym is 2 miles from my house, and I'm literally going to drive there to work out for an hour and then come home. But it's not just an hour, it's like an hour 30 when you factor in the driving and the changing and like the showering and all that stuff. I'm just like, do I want to work out for 90 minutes? No, no, I don't. But I also will not walk outside. I don't like the outdoors. I like them if I'm doing an activity that's like, we're going to the zoo, we're going on a hike, we're going to this garden. Fantastic. All for it. Oh, just go outside and walk. I need a destination. I need a place that I'm going. I get distracted. There was one time that I went before I bought my treadmill, and that's why I bought a treadmill because I was like, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna do this. It starts downpouring, and I'm like, you have to. You have to still go
Yeah.
because you can't just let the weather derail your workout. You're doing this. So I'm like walking in a downpour because I had to work out. And I was like, this is stupid. I don't like this. So then I bought my treadmill. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, we're putting a gym in the building. And I'm like, of course you're putting a gym in the building. Why wouldn't you put a gym in the building?
Yeah.
So,
Well, when I went to my sister's graduation last week, it kind of was a wake up call because in the arena that it was at, I had to walk up like 17 stairs, not
oh
flights,
yeah.
just individual
Yeah,
stairs.
just individual, but you're
And I
winded.
was winded and I was like,
Yeah.
this is really bad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really out of shape if I can't even walk up these stupid stairs without this bad. Like, if it was a long set of
Well,
stairs, okay, but like
you know what
17
though?
stairs isn't that many.
I used to, when I was walking, I was doing my treadmill, an hour every day. I was doing 3 miles. Um, I was still getting winded doing 17 stairs. So like, I don't count the stairs as like a test of how
Well,
like
it
out of shape
made
you
you
are.
think I
Cause I
need
feel like stairs are different, but I totally
I'm
get where
gonna use
you're
the
coming
stair
from,
cleaner.
where you're like, I should be able to walk up 17 stairs without an issue. And
Yeah.
mine is like, I should be able to walk from my building to the train without getting on the train and be like there's no reason for that.
And I walk, like I go walking a few times a week and like I said, I do outdoor activities. I go hiking,
Yeah, you
and I
love
get
the
winded
outdoors.
whenever I'm hiking. Like I'll get winded, but I'm like, I'm hiking. I've been hiking for over a mile. Like I expect it. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna just go to the gym. I'm gonna be a gym person.
I hope you
That's my
are.
future. I want to be a gym
I
person.
feel like you would be a really good gym person. I feel like
Well, I
you
used to. So I did martial arts when I was a teenager, and I went like 5 or 6 days a week. Like they had a Taibo class one day a week, and I was like, I'm going to do that too, and I did that.
oh my,
And like I did everything. Like I was there every single day, and I played softball. So I mean, like I feel like I can be the gym person again. I just kind of got out of it whenever my ACL tore.
mhm.
Snapped in half, and so like I can't run now, like I can't squat down and stand back up because my knee will dislocate. So it like limited what I could do. And it's just like, fuck it, ain't doing nothing then. So I'm like, I got to do something. Um,
I tried one of those gym classes and it was me and a friend and it was like cardio fitness with Lisa. And like, we were like, we can definitely do cardio fitness. All of the women in there are like geriatric style women. So we're like, we can definitely do this class. Me and one of my friends, we're like, we should be fine. this starts going and we're both dying. And these like 50, 60, 70-year-old women are just no problem. And we're just like, oh my God, like how much longer is this goddamn class? And I was like, I can't do classes, but I don't like,
Oh, I'll push through and do it.
well, we did too. Like we pushed through and did it, but like I never went again. And I don't like being around other people. Like I like working out by myself. So that's one thing that I'm just like, I want to do classes, but I won't do it because I don't like being looked at by other people. So I do like, there's a yoga with Adrienne on YouTube, and I love her. She's got like a really soothing voice, and she's just like really nice, and she looks great, and she like does these poses. And while she's doing it, she goes, I'm doing it like this. You don't have to. And I'm like, good, because you're doing the beginner class and you want me to like put all of my weight on my shoulders. And I don't know how you expect me to do that. But so like I do like her stuff and I have my treadmill. So I'm just like, I'm gonna work out by myself in my apartment and not be judged by anybody but cats.
I won't do it unless someone's asking me to do it with them. I don't do things. I want to, but I'm like,
you're like, I don't care about my health unless somebody else is going to care about
yeah,
it with me.
yeah.
Well,
But
what do you think? There was an article about the women's only gym that
I
I sent you.
love that. I love that because I really think if that we had like a women's only gym here, I probably would have joined a gym a long time ago. Like to be completely
And
honest.
I've seen women's only gyms before, but they're like targeted to like older women and stuff. And they're just like, the Curves Fitness was women and they're not very like
No, I
prevalent.
don't want a class. I just want like a gym
Yeah.
that's just for women. Like no
But
men.
this one was super cool. It's a 24-hour gym. You need a key fob to get in. Um, there's no men allowed in the gym. And the thing that I like the most, they had a sign posted. So they do have at least one male employee, and they posted a sign that says this gym will be staffed by a male at this time, between this time and this time, or
So that you
there
would
will
know
be
if you
a
didn't want to be
male.
there during that.
Yeah, so it's like there will be a male maintenance employee on the
Yeah.
building. And I love that. And like people in the comments were like really, sorry, not people, men in the comments were like, oh, women's only gym is sexist and they shouldn't have it. And I was like, the only thing I thought was like, this is so
Why would
good.
you care?
Yeah, like I was
Why do
like,
you care?
yeah, like going to the gym is about working out. Like you really shouldn't be looking at anybody else. Why does it matter if like you're not involved? Like if they wanted to make a men's only gym, fuck it, go make a men's only
I
gym.
don't care. I'm
Like,
not gonna feel I'm like good. I don't want to go anyways.
yeah, you're like, your gym smells like socks.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I thought it was such a funny article because like I saw this gym and I was like, this is so good for women. Like it helps with their confidence. It helps for those women who can't be around men because of like abuse and things like that. Um, and just like people who just want to work out without feeling like objectified. Because you see
Yeah.
people in the gym and it's like, I've seen some people that are like, oh, I have to like look cute at the gym, or I've
I
seen
would
people
love that
get,
because I am the type, like I can already see myself. I'm gonna be like, well, do I look okay before I go to
yeah,
the gym? But if
yep.
it's a women's only gym, I'm like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. Like
No,
even
you don't.
though I am willing to date women, it still
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Like I'm more comfortable with women than I am men as far as
exactly.
my appearance goes because women get it, they understand. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know, like I'm just more comfortable with women in my own skin than I am with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, that's so good. Because I've seen women get dress coded too, where they're like, you're wearing a sports bra and they're like, that's lewd. You can't wear that. You need to go home. You need to change. But then a man has his tank top cut out so you can see
or no
both of his
tank top at
nipples.
all, or
And
just
they're like, that's totally fine. Male nipples aren't a sex object. And you're like, neither is a female in a sports bra.
yeah.
So yeah, I saw that article and I was like, God, I wish that we had more female only gym. I might go to a female only gym if there was one.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and like you have larger breasts too. Like
yeah,
I have the fear of if I'm moving too much, they're going to be bouncing, and I don't want some
all
guy across the
over.
room staring at my tits. Like,
And you know what? When I did go to the gym, I would see that all the time. Like there's just people that are just sitting on these machines, just like on their phone or like looking around, and like you don't want to feel that. You don't want to feel like people are watching you, but like
yeah,
a woman, like the most that would happen is if my boobs were like bouncing around at a gym, a woman would come up and go, this is the bra you need. And I would go, send me a
Thank
link.
you.
Thank God, because this is my fourth try at this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like I loved that it was happening. And I hate that people in the men in the comments were like, a women's only gym is
Got
sexist.
you, bro. Shut the fuck up.
You're
We
like,
don't
just
give
go to
a
your
shit what you
gym.
think. Obviously, we don't give a fuck what you think because we're not including you in this. So run along, little boy. We don't need
Yeah,
your
it was
input.
like 24-hour gym. You need a key fob, makes you feel safe. Like, amazing, incredible. You know what I saw? I've seen recently. It's like Demi Lovato came out as non-binary with the they them pronoun, and you've seen like a lot of young celebrities coming out with that, and like you see all of the backlash from like the older people that are just like, this is stupid, this is this, and you're like, why?
Why do
It doesn't
you care?
it doesn't bother you at all. It literally impacts you. You are never going to
You're
meet
not this
Demi.
person's fan. You're never going to
Yeah,
be. Why do you
you
care?
will never meet them. Like you will never have it. Like it's not a thing that matters. And it was just such a crazy thing of people just being like, this is new, this is Gen, what are we on, is it Gen Z? I feel like it's Gen Z.
I don't know.
But they're like these young kids, they're just making everything up, and it's like, no, these things have always been there. We were all just too afraid to admit it because
But
you're
I
all
saw
very
people
mean to
complaining
them.
like, well, first she was an addict and now it's this. It's always got to be like, maybe she was an addict because she was repressing her truth.
Yeah,
Maybe that was it. Like, maybe
yeah,
she was
like
trying to drown out her own misery because she felt like she couldn't be who she really is, or they couldn't be who they really are. I'm sitting here being a total dick.
yeah, it's an
I gotta get used
adjustment.
to it. Like it is, it's
Yeah.
not like an offensive thing. It's just you got to get used to using a different pronoun and have to consciously think about that.
Something that one of my friends does is he said for his non-binary friends, he literally just says the name every single
Yeah,
time. So anytime that he's talking about like any of his non-binary friends, like even if he's talking to somebody else about them, like use the name. And I was
yeah.
like, oh, it's so smart because you never know anymore. And like it's a lot of people are saying like, oh, these are my pronouns now and these are my this, but like you never really know. And so it was like a weird thing, but I'm like, yeah, no, people are finally just like comfortable coming out with like that they're bisexual, that they're pansexual, that they are non-binary, that they're trans, because guess what? We're finally accepting people that are different now. Like,
And I hate when some people are like, "No, there's just two genders. It's either
there's
men or women."
not.
It's like, but there's really not. Like, even the genetic makeup shows that some people have both of the, you know, they may have these parts, but then their genetic makeup says that they're the opposite, or like, why do you care? Like, why do you care?
Well, and it's
I don't
crazy
understand why
too.
anyone cares. Like, I don't care one way or the other. What's
Something that's coming up a lot on the news is that they're teaching about uh like trans people and bisexuality and like all that stuff in school at like a young age. And like, we all know what I watch. So obviously everybody is very upset about it. And they're all like, don't be teaching my children that people can be bisexual and transsexual
I
and
want
all
them to
this
know that
stuff. And
they can be who they want to be and
well,
be
and that was
comfortable in
the
their own
thing.
skin.
And I thought it was so crazy that people are like so upset about it because you're like, do you know what the suicide rate is for LGBTQ people? It is so high because they're always hiding. If
Yeah,
you teach children at the young age that, like, people are different, that's okay, this is what this means, you're going to potentially help somebody who is feeling that but doesn't know what it is
yeah.
discover. And then their only argument to it is that you're confusing the kids. And you're like,
Not
no,
confusing though. They're
you're
not
not
confused
confusing
at
them.
all.
No, like it's so funny because they're like, well, now my 5-year-old daughter's gonna come home and says that she wants to be a boy. Am I just supposed to put her on boy hormones? And it's like, no, you're not, because she's fucking 5 and she doesn't need them. But when she starts going through puberty, and if she still feels the same way now that she did at five
Right.
years
It's
old,
not just a
maybe
little
don't be a
phase.
dick about it.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not just a phase or like my daughter Lillian, she is pansexual and I believe sapiosexual. Um, and she's also, I guess you'd say non binary, but she's kind of like I don't care what pronoun that you use. You can call
Yeah.
me a boy, you can call me a girl. It doesn't matter to me because some days I feel like a boy, some days I feel like a girl.
Yeah.
Like I'm just everything, and I'm okay with like I accept every gender, and I feel like I am all genders. So like I am one with the universe, and I am all things. Is kind of I guess she would never say that, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. She's just like she doesn't.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
Yeah,
And I love that, like, it's just whatever kind of attitude instead of just like the rage. Like, last week, I think on Friday they were talking about a drag queen that came out with a children's book about drag queens. Fantastic.
yeah.
Let's teach kids about drag queens, because drag queens, first off,
They're part of
phenomenal.
society, and they're
Love
part of
drag
society.
queens,
Like
but they're part of society. And like, it can be alarming and confusing for a child to see a drag queen for the first time. But if you have a children's book and like people are like aware, they're not going to like stare, and they're not going to ask the parents, and they're not going to just like, you have that kind of open dialogue that you wouldn't originally have. And I always think of that meme where somebody's like, oh God, what was it? It was something like, would you let your child around a drag queen, and blah blah blah. And it like seemed like it was going to go in a very like anti-drag stance. And then the person ended up, they're like, personally, I would not let my child around. Wigs could get torn off,
yeah,
shoes
yeah,
could be
that's all that.
broken. Children are horrible monsters, and drag queens should be protected. And I was like, yes, like, but
Yeah,
I thought like it's so funny that like instead of embracing all of these like new and fun things, everybody's first instinct is to just be like, it's bad. Don't teach my children about the world around them. I want them in a box. It's like those kids that like aren't able to participate in sex ed because their parents are like, I don't want them to learn what sex is. Well, guess what? That's how teen pregnancy happens.
yeah,
Because you didn't teach her that condoms are an option. And you
right.
didn't teach him that condoms are an option.
Or you didn't even teach them about it's okay to please yourself. You know, they
Yeah.
think they have to go to someone else to
I
do that.
I did just see a post today about a woman complaining. So Target sells rabbits and wands now, and they sell them in the normal aisle with all of the like condoms and such. But she's like, I went into the vitamin aisle of Target, and they're selling sex toys that go in both holes. And people in the comments were like, you guys, should we tell her? Because it's a rabbit. And they're like, and somebody else was like, I will pay any amount of money for this woman to tell me what holes these go into and show me where she thinks those holes are. And
Yeah,
I'm
like she
like,
doesn't even know her own anatomy.
yeah, because
Bad.
you don't think about it, and like until somebody tells you, like, you don't know about that stuff. And somebody did tell, I saw another post, because I spend all of my time online, so all I do is see articles all day long. But somebody was like, I learned about sex toys from a friend who I was helping her move, and her vibrator fell out of her bag, and she screamed, my baby, and she picked it up. And that's how I learned what a vibrator was. And I was like, I'm always talking about sex toys with my friend. Like, if I find a good one, you better believe everybody is going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot say enough things about the Lovense brand. Like, that wand, obsessed. um but yeah, like, it was just such a funny thing that you're just like, teach kids about the world around them. I mean, obviously don't teach a 5-year-old sex ed, but
Right.
like, teach them
Lily
about,
was like, she was 6 the first time she asked me
yeah, because they are asking.
yeah,
You don't have to like go into all of it.
she was like, "What's a lesbian?" And I was already with my ex Emily at the time, and I was like, "Well, a lesbian is a girl who loves another girl like a husband and wife would love each other. You know, like a man and woman would traditionally love each other. It's just two girls who love each other that way." And she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And that was like it. Like, and I think I even said it's similar to how Uncle so and so and Uncle so and so are.
Yeah.
Um, you know how they love each other, except it's just girls, you know. And she's just like, okay. And I was like, why are you asking that? She's like, I just heard that word, and it was referencing a female, and I didn't, or a girl, and I didn't understand what it meant, you know. I was like, oh, and I was like, well, do you like boys or girls? And she's like, I don't know. I think it just doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me. I'll just love whoever I love, and that's still how she is. I mean, I'll just love whoever I love. Like, and she was 6.
I
She
mean,
doesn't
kids,
really
yeah,
change.
like, I fully believe that kids at that age do know. Like, because a lot of the kids that like do come out as trans later in life, they tell the stories that they're like, I was telling my parents from when I was 4 and 5 and 6, like it's not like they turned 14 and they were like, I'm the opposite gender. Like, and to not let kids like know that they're not alone and like explain all of the different things is such a disservice, like of having to like introduce them to this stuff online. Because then you have things too, like Lil Nas X is extremely popular right now, and he was popular for Old Town Road, which people think is a children's song, is not a children's song. But then his new song, Call Me by Your Name, it is a very sexual video, and it's very LGBT. Like it's not for children. But people were like, how dare you be so sexual in your videos and be grinding on men in your videos? My child's confused now. And it's like,
Your
well,
child
first of
should watch
all,
it in the first place.
yeah,
So
you're like, well, that's what
you
he was
need to
telling
say
people.
this is for your children.
He was like, well, first of all, don't let your children watch my videos. I don't make music for children, which is the first thing that I say, that I think for every single person
That
that's
would be
like,
like going after a porn star and being like, I don't like that you're making porn because it confuses my child. Well, why the hell is your kid watching my porn to begin with? That ain't my business. That's yours.
somebody was going off on somebody for having an OnlyFans, and they were like, well, then don't watch. Because they were like, why are you charging? I can see porn for free. And she goes, then
Then
go see
don't.
porn for free.
Yeah.
I don't care. But yeah, like it's such a like it's such a weird thing. It's like, well, if you're going like expose your children to things, like explain these things, like
Yeah, like with
explain.
Sagan, I would say a year or two ago, he started wanting his toenails painted, and he hasn't
Mhm.
asked for it recently, but um, one of the times, so my parents are pretty conservative. One of the times he was supposed to go stay with my parents, and my stepmom was like, "No, little boys don't have their toenails painted in my house." And he's like, "Okay, I'll stay here." It's just like wouldn't go with him. And then finally she's like, "Oh, just come on," and she gave in, and he came home and his toenails were still painted, you know,
Yeah.
and and he loves rainbows. Like he loves rainbows. And right now he's been watching True or something. I don't know. It's some little girl show, or traditionally a girl show. It's a little cartoon, and it's got this little girl, cartoon character, and there's rainbows everywhere. And he's been wanting to watch that a lot. And then when we went and bought shoes the other day, I we got matching sliders that are
Aw.
championed, and they're rainbow. Um, do you even have mine in here? No. Rainbow tie dye. Um, and so his are like rainbow tie dye over the foot and then black on the bottom. But I couldn't find them the same in my size. So mine
They're
are
like, I just want
all
to dress like
rainbow.
my child.
Mine are all rainbow tie dye over the whole thing. But we got those that match. And but he's also all boy. Like he's
Yeah.
very boyish. Like he's very in tune with farting and his junk and like all of
I think,
that.
yeah, like the labeling things is
We
like
don't.
boy and girl is
Well, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Like me and Anthony both don't feel like telling him no, you can't have that because it's for a girl. Because we want him to explore who he is and what he likes. Like we don't care if it's traditionally for a girl. We just want him to be happy. It doesn't matter to
There
us.
there is a fun gender history fact of blue used to be for boys and pink used to be for or blue used to be for girls and
Yeah,
pink used to be for boys, because pink was seen as the more masculine color. And I don't know when that switched, but I did like reading that it was just such a crazy thing where they were like, at some point they just decided that like pink was a feminine color. And then you see people now where they're like, well, I can't wear pink, I'm a boy. And it's like, well, who's stopping you? Like, nobody's stopping you. Men look great in pink, girls look great in blue. Everybody looks good in everything. Like,
yeah.
if it makes you happy, wear it. If it makes
Cares?
you happy,
It's the
do it. As long
color.
as it's not
It's the
illegal, don't do illegal
color.
things.
Like who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah, like the colors, the liking rainbows, the like all that stuff that you're painting your toenails. Like, I know so many like little boys that like doing that because they see their mom doing it and they see their sisters doing it. It's like, him painting his nails is not going to make him gay.
Yeah.
If
No, I
he's
think his was
gay,
green at the time.
yeah.
His favorite color was green. So he's, oh, I want my nails green.
It's a way to express yourself. Like, you do it through your clothes, you do it through your nails. Like,
Doesn't matter. That's not a color is not going to make you gay
no.
or anything else. being interested in the same gender sexually is what's going to make you gay. Like it's,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're
yeah,
like the only, well, and even not even that, I did see an article where there was a therapist who said men who have sex with men are not necessarily gay. And they were like, he was like, just because you have sex with men doesn't make you gay. And people were like, I mean, but then you think about it and you're like, I mean, no, it's really just
I
how
mean, I
you
can kind of
identify.
see it. Yeah, I can kind
Yeah.
of see that. It's like this is just a sex thing. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be romantically involved with.
I've always felt that. Like to me personally, I think sex is like less intimate than something like kissing or sharing your feelings. So it's like, no, we can have sex,
No,
but like
yeah,
if you want to like kiss and like talk to me, like there's a whole other level
yeah,
that like,
yeah.
yeah, that's on the same thing with like virginity and stuff where people are like, your virginity is sacred. And it's like, no, like you
Definitely.
lost it. And you're like, I didn't lose it. I gave it
I
to this
mean, yeah,
dude over
it's
here.
probably going to be very memorable because it was your first time to ever experience that. But at the same time, it's like it's not a big deal. It's really not
No,
a big deal.
no, and putting so much pressure on it is like insane. They're
Yeah.
like, you're a delicate flower and you must make it special and it must be. No,
Just make sure it's someone that you're not going to regret having done that with tomorrow or 3 years down the road. You know, if you
yeah,
never see this person again, are you still okay that you
yeah,
met them? That's
that's
like
that's
my
the
rule.
key.
That is my rule.
Yeah,
And that's what I told my sister and my daughter that, you know,
I do that every time that I'm with
you
somebody. It's like,
never see this person
yeah,
again. Are you still okay with the fact you had a relationship with them in bed or,
yeah,
an intimate relationship with them? Would you still
yep,
be okay with that? Because you got to be doing it for yourself and for your own pleasure and obviously to help please them too. But I mean,
yeah, but like you
you
have
have
to be
to want
okay.
it
Like you
not
can't,
to earn their love or their
yeah,
affection, you know.
yeah, because that's how I think about it now. Because I used to be that person that like, if I do this, they will stay. And if I do this, this will happen. And now I'm just like, I am doing this regardless of if you ever call me back again because it's something that
I
I
want
want
to
to
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's such a key, crucial part of this.
Yeah. But
Ready to call it?
yeah, yeah, I think that
We
we've
talked
talked
so much about so many things.
yeah, I've probably got 2 episodes worth of content here.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Um, yeah, so this is whatever we talked about in this episode. Not clear. Um,
She doesn't know
and
what I'm gonna edit in and out.
I have no idea. It's a surprise every time. And that's why I can't watch them with other people because I have no idea what I say. So like I sit there and I watch these and I think like I'm like, "Oh, this is just me answering totally normal questions." Like with that one where you were asking me the random questions and I was like, "Oh, this should be totally safe to watch with another person." And then I talked about how your perfect lipstick color is the shade of your labia. And I'm like,
She left that in there. Okay then.
so it's one of those things where it's like, it's true.
Yeah.
Like everybody should know. Um, so yeah, that's the show. Like, share, subscribe, all of the things. Let us know what you think. And have a great day, week, life, all of it.
Bye.
Bye.